think a lot of people would first assume you're from Jersey.
Jersey.
Right?
Everyone says Jersey.
So what's the story? Like, what's your hometown like? Your dad owns restaurants.
Yeah, so of course, like the irony of it all was the fact that my dad has Italian restaurants. My dad has been successful in, it's the same. We have like a similar situation, except mine's obviously in a way more privileged situation because he's already established, has a house. Yeah, so like he moved from Italy to like Connecticut, I think in like early 90s or something like that. Like met my mom, whatever. 95, opened up his first restaurant, and from there, just like the success built and built and built. It's pretty cool because there'll be like a guy that's like now the CFO of fucking Chase Bank or like CEO or something, and he's like, I was making 20 grand a year eating at your dad's restaurant, and now I own the company 20 years later, and I'm still eating here. So it's like my dad has his legacy in Charlotte, and like everybody in the restaurant industry knows who he is. And going back to like how I didn't do cooking videos before, I had like 1 million followers, 600 videos doing random shit, skits, like motivational stuff. There was no limit. I never limited myself, and that's another thing I like always tell people is like, don't limit yourself. The only reason why I'm limiting myself to cooking videos is because I can wake up every single day, have good energy, make the video, and it's going to perform. But not everybody can do that. You gotta get to that point.
You're cool if it like no one gives a shit anymore and you have to make some different content. You know that you can do that.
Not at all. Exactly. Yeah. I could make a new TikTok right now, and I think I could get 1 mil in like a month if I were to actually just make a bunch of videos. But basically it was just ironic, like the fact that my life came back to me making pasta. I never did, but my dad had to start from nothing and make it all on his own. Like I never asked my parents permission to do anything that I did. Like I was doing everything and making it comfortable for them. That's another thing that people fuck up in life is presenting shit to their parents. You want to move out to LA, you want to do all this shit. Like I didn't want to do it. I did it because my shit was working. It's like if you're making the money, you can do it. If you're not, then your parents are going to think you're a lunatic. So it's like I didn't listen to anybody. My dad didn't listen to anybody. My dad moved to America by himself, like illegally. Like he just did whatever the fuck he could to get away from his home situation. I did the same thing in Charlotte. Built my establishment, had the confidence, moved away. He moved away. So we have like the same situation, except in mine's a very modernized version where it's like
TikTok, Instagram.
It's just a leap of faith. Like if you want to take the leap, then
he's doing what he loves, and I'm doing what I love. I don't love like making pasta. It's fun now because I can do it, but it's like I love being able to like
create,
work out, make music, make videos, do all this shit, and do it as a career, and have potential to make millions and millions and millions in different parts of this entertainment. So it's like cool having a similar story, and I think it's ironic and like destiny to come back and be doing what my dad does, even though it wasn't my intention.
For sure. Like my dad worked his ass off. He was a lawyer for years, and I felt like in some way I'm doing that, like starting from scratch. We're doing something bigger, but it's still hard. Maybe we won't feel this way years on, and tell me if you feel this way too. But like you feel like it's not the same though. We're blowing up on TikTok, and it takes grind, but it's not like starting a business in some small town. Even though like maybe we'll feel more like that. Yeah.
The resources. You know? It's a different generation resource wise. You can't really just pull shit out of your ass 20 years ago, but you can now.
Yeah.
You come out, you meet people, and you play the game right, you're gonna go off. But sometimes people do shit perfectly. Trying to start a business 30 years ago, or even today, you know, starting a business, you got to know what you're doing, and you can do well. But it's easier to do it if you know what you're doing nowadays.
That's true.
But,
like the people that took advantage of TikTok in 2020 in the summer, like they're out here like doing 100%. This shit. Yeah. Because like
that's us, right?
Yeah. People that are coming on our show and like we're like doing the show, but like everyone like. You just gotta like take advantage of what's in front of you, man. I don't know. Like TikTok is fucking literally blew us up.
But when I moved out here. So for me, it's like there's never been a person that I've met that they haven't like come back to me with something. So like, I met somebody when I first moved out here last year, and I don't remember anything about. They got my number, we talked, and then I'm like, in that year that I've been here, my shit's grown, and so has their business. So they come to me like. Now I got you. Now I've got the money for you to do this because their shit's growing. It's like you meet enough people got their own shit going for them while you got your shit going. And then you come back together a year later and you're like, let's work together.
Yeah, it's never like
we couldn't work together.
Yeah, it's never like a dry conversation when you come back and like meet someone.
But that's the most important part of life and networking is the fact that like you got to meet somebody and you got to make sure that like they will think of you when it comes to the time. Like that will come back. Yeah. You go to a party and you think like I'm just here to get drunk and I'm just here to like take a girl home. but you don't think about anything business wise. Like you're in LA, there's people doing shit. You know what I mean? You got to meet everybody. You got to keep the relationship with everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it in like a force yourself. It's like just keep it natural. Become friends with everybody.
Yeah.
Well, like even so, like you pull up to our house like 2 a.m. one time, like with dude like we know, and I was like, yo, that's QCP. And then anyway, like we figured it out, and then like you hear 4 months later,
Right?
Like
I remember like seeing you guys like a little bit on TikTok and seeing on YouTube and not thinking of it, and then thinking back to the night that I came over and we're going to the Sync house. I'm like, what the fuck is the Sync house?
Yeah.
I'm like, there's this house, that house. I'm like, the Sync house. But then I was like, podcast, like that's cool. And then obviously the time you guys grew and I grew and we meet. We wanted to do a podcast then, and it's the same. It would have been the same then. You know what I mean? It's like we would have had the same story, but it's like both established even more to this day. And then you link up.
The funniest thing is the establishment of the Sync house, because we've never put that anywhere. Like it is the only place where the Sync house is actually written in writing is our group chat, and it's the Sync house chat.
That's it,
right? And that's the only place it's ever been put. And like people that will come over, people in the comments, people and stuff like this will say like, "Oh, the Sync house, the Sync house." We're like, "What even is it?" We don't know.
Right. Yeah. Like y'all don't even know what the Sync house is.
It's this entity that has never been created that somehow has a name.
Bro, and that's my fucking brand for Betch.
Yeah.
Like I made a video, so it was super ironic. Like I was living with a roommate. He ends up leaving, and then I ended up learning that I needed my personal space to be able to succeed and to be able to be on my own schedule and get shit done and be happy. And that first week or something that he was gone, I had like a bunch of videos pop off. I gained like almost 1 million followers in like a week. And then my brand like got blown up again on accident by the Betch. I accidentally said Betch like 120 times in a video, and the top comment was like CEO of Betch, and the video got like 15 mil views or something, or like 20, and that sparked my brand and my career like boomed back up. I was like, it was like a depressions always lead into a boom of creativity, and like shit can even happen on accident like that. You're like, you don't even think about this, about Sync being such a name, and now like looking at it, it's like it sounds so much more crisp. It sounds like
Sync house.
It just like comes together a lot better, and that's what happened to me. I accidentally created a brand that's making me a lot of money, like personally, and has potential to become its own business. Yeah.